Let's see what Tuesday, June 13th has in store for us. Welcome back to the Green Beans Go channel. It's your host, me. As always, appreciate your time. Appreciate you guys stopping by. 120 subscribers right now. Pretty good for me. So, what's better is like 122, 23, 24, 25. If you can hit that subscribe, helps me a ton, even though I've not necessarily been helping you guys a ton. So let's look at last week. We did okay. Plain and simple, we did okay. We hit 3 last week. Sanchez, Pavin Smith, and Ryan O'Hearn. So, just shy of breaking even, more or less. If you look at our tracking, we're still up. If you played all of the A team, you've spent $2,170. If you've converted your free bets at 75%, you should be up about $500 since we started keeping track. If you've played only the B team, up about $200 with that conversion. So still doing pretty well. If we look at our how I am rating these games. So if we look at A-rated, what that means, what that corresponds to is my rating on here. So we have 3 A-rated games today. So the A-rated games are producing 9 free bets per game, $9 in free bets per game, whereas everything else is producing less. So that tells me I am picking the A-rated games correctly. So that's good. I still have not hit an A-team A-rated game, though, which you'd think that would be like the bread and the butter. I've hit quite a few B teams, but maybe today's the day, right? So as always, it's good to check. It's good to keep record of how we're doing. I would call this fine. Not the best last 2 weeks. I want to go over this sheet real quick in case this is your first time. So every week I put the matchups with the photos here. I put the pitcher who is going to start. I put their innings pitched on the year. I put the home runs they've given up on the year. This converts it to home runs expected per inning. Red is not a great spot for batters. Yellow is average. Green is good. And this is the home runs you can expect if they were to pitch 5 whole innings. So that's how the sheet is read. Over here, Ballpark Pal's projected home runs per game. So if we look at Ballpark Pal, he has a new section on his website called Home Run Zone. We check that out. He lists the projected home run totals across all games today and across the specific games today. So pretty cool little tool. And I've been keeping track of his. So that's what this column is. So this column is kind of an estimation of how many home runs you can expect that game. Okay. So I've been keeping track here since he started this tool on May 29th. His predictions are in this column. Yellow is Tuesdays, by the way. May as well highlight this because we are at another Tuesday. And this is the actual home runs that were hit that day. So if we look at this chart, and I'll make this a little bigger. He started out, and blue is his line, red is the actual number. He started out predicting just a little bit more. So last week we were here when we looked at it. So this is all new data. And it's actually flipped a little bit. On June 8th, it flipped, and he's actually predicting slightly less, besides this day, than the actual. So again, his model is doing pretty well, I would say. It's following at least the trend. June 10th wasn't a great day, but everything else, he's very, very close to the actual. So today he predicts 34, which, I'll take 34 home runs tonight if that's what we can get. So if we go back, finishing out the sheet, this column is his home run projections based on park factors. So given historical data across all of these parks, if conditions are like this in Detroit, for example, there is a negative 11% increase in home runs. So it looks at park factors and looks at weather and tells us, how is the stadium compared to historical data for the same scenario, sort of. Okay, so that's what that column is. And then finally, the GMG grade is my rankings of that game. Is it an A? If it's an A, I expect 4 to 5 home runs. If it's a B, I expect 3 to 4 home runs. If it's a C, I expect 2 to 3 home runs. A D, 1 to 2 home runs, and F, 0 to 1 home run. So no Fs today. Didn't give any Fs. Second week in a row, no Fs. So let's get into it. All right, we got Atlanta. Spencer Strider, been looking fantastic, versus Reese Olson, who's only pitched 10 innings, hasn't given up a home run. Again, Tiny sample size. I'm not paying any attention to it. And I am going with 2 Atlanta Braves. Matt Olson at 370, I think, is a great spot. Lefty versus this righty. Again, park factors aren't phenomenal. It's not a game I'll play with the $50 limited version, but it's a game that you might be interested in playing. And I think Matt Olson above 350, anything above 350, I think for Matt Olson is a great spot. Michael Harris the second at 680. He hit one last night. He hit one 3 nights ago. The bat's hot, and why not ride that at that number? So that's what I'm going with for that game. Second game listed here is Chris Bissett versus Dean Krimmer, and here's the deal. This is the target. This is a game I will be playing. Tons of sample size, large sample size for these pitchers. 12 home runs each. Park's good, weather's good, so it's got an A for me, and I'm going to target my favorite Tuesday batter. Seems to be, Dalton Varsho. He's hit 2 or 3 on Tuesdays, so we're going to go back to him at 440. And Brandon Belt, if he does end up in the starting lineup at 480, I think is another good play. As always, if there is something that changes with the lineups, I update it on Twitter, and I'll try to update it on TikTok as well. And I'll try to put it in the comments on this video. So you have to keep that in mind. You have to decide, do I want to wait for lineups to lock it in, or do I want to lock it in on a number? Up to you. Okay, I usually lock it in on a number, and if there's a change, I adjust accordingly. Next game, unfortunately, we're not in Colorado today. We are in Boston, which is not the best hitters park. Chase Anderson and Cutter Crawford pitching tonight. Boston's had 2 back-to-back 10-inning games. Maybe they come in tired. I don't know. But I'm going with 2 Colorado batters, Ryan McMahon and Nolan Jones. Nolan Jones just walked. Actually, both of these guys just hit home runs in their last game. McMahon hit one in the bottom of the 9th to tie it up, and then Nolan Jones walked it off. Maybe bottom of the 8th, bottom of the 9th. Anyway, both of these guys hit late in the game to get the win. So I'm not going to play this game. If you have the unlimited version and you want to play them all, I would if I was you. And these were the 2 guys that I had my eye on for that. Next game, we got the Battle of New York here. We got the Yankees and we got the Mets. Luis Severino and Max Scherzer. And Severino, I'm not looking into this because this guy's got the stuff, right? So 7 home runs in 20 innings is not. It's too small of a sample size to say, huge matchup, right? Like pound Mets batters. So I'm a fool, guys. I didn't do my drink introduction. We're just rocking the water today. I already had a cup of coffee. Didn't sit well. So we're just going, just water on ice, baby. It's probably the better way to start my day anyway. Okay, so Severino, I don't believe is a matchup that is as optimistic as it says, but I am going to target 2 guys for the Mets. Brent Batty at 600 hasn't hit one in a few weeks, but started off the year pretty good. And Lindor at 480, I think is too generous. I think there's tons of value in that pick. He's probably 350, 370 fair for what he's been able to do. And so I'll take 480 all day long for Lindor. Again, not a game I'm playing, but unlimited, I think it's a decent spot. Next game, we got Milwaukee going to the Twin Cities. And I am going to target 2 guys who will be facing Pablo Lopez. Corbin Burnes hasn't been fantastic. Not the pitcher he's looked like in the past 2 years, but he's been solid. Pablo Lopez has looked okay as well, but I am going to target 2 guys on the Brewers. Rowdy Tellez is out there for one reason only, and that is to hit home runs, and I'll take him at 360. Yelich, I know we picked Yelich last week. Where is he? Okay. We picked Yelich last week, and, 600, 560, similar odds. Hit one a few days ago. I just think that, again, decent spot for a guy who's going to see 4 at-bats. Weather's not great. Again, not the best hitting park tonight, so tail at your own risk there. I'm not going to play that game, but if I were to play that game, those are who I would target. This next game is kind of interesting. San Francisco versus St. Louis. Cobb, I think, is probably to me is the best pitcher in terms of just giving ground balls, and that's it. I don't see a ton of home runs hit tonight off Alex Cobb. Jack Flaherty, I would more likely take a guy facing him, but as you can see, this is probably the best pitching matchup of the night. Okay, Zach Wheeler and Zach Davies is probably the best pitchup. This is probably the second best matchup of the night. Ballpark Pal still projecting 2.5 home runs, which I think is interesting. I don't know if we see that, but I'm going to target Flaherty in this one, giving up the home run. So Jock Peterson at 400 and Mike Yastrzemski at 560. I don't mind Lamonte Wade Jr. at 500, I believe he was, but not a game I'm playing. But yeah, these would be the guys I would target, and I would target San Francisco guys tonight. Okay, another game that I think is A-rated, a good game, a game I'll be playing. Jose Barria, is that his first name? No, Jamie Barria, and so they're projecting Cody Bradford to go. It has not been confirmed. I've written it down as Cody Bradford. He's only pitched 10 innings this year. He's given up 2 home runs. John Gray was slated to go. I believe he's injured, so this is the expectation. So in this case, it's an indoor stadium and it's targeting Angels hitters all day long. Now, because it's not listed, and I'll just go back and look, still to be determined. So we don't have a home run. We don't have any home run odds listed right now. But I am going to go for these guys on the Angels. Taylor Ward has been hot lately, and Hunter Renfroe, he was the Tuesday monster last year. Him and Devers were just cranking home runs on Tuesdays, and I'm going to go with Renfroe tonight. This is a game I will play when odds come out. I'm gonna take some guesses here. I'm gonna guess that if we can get Taylor Ward at 420, that's a good number, and if we can get Hunter Renfroe at 450, that's a good number. So we shall see what happens with that. But 2 guys I'm gonna play when the lineups release and when the starting pitcher releases. Okay. We got Pittsburgh and the Cubs. Again, a stadium that can go one of 2 ways depending on where the wind's blowing, just because they're so close to like Michigan. Are they close to Lake Michigan? Is Chicago by Lake Michigan? Where is Chicago? Where is Chicago? Let's check the map. I mean, surely I'm not that much of a fool, right? Yeah, they're on Lake Michigan. Okay, so winds are coming in, right? Where's Wrigley? Wrigley. This is not part of the content normally. I don't know. I really don't know where Wrigley is. I know where Costco is, though. Shout out to Costco. Went there yesterday. Their ice cream machine was down. You can get a soft serve. You can get a huge cup of soft serve for $1.99. Machine's broken. Can you believe that? McDonald's business here. Okay, so we're gonna target 2 guys for Pittsburgh. Jaewon Bay. Golly, 10-1. I mean, 10-1. I got a couple 10-1s tonight. And Jack Swinski at 360. 2 Pittsburgh guys. Again, Talion, I think, has been sort of a letdown for what the Cubs had expected of him coming over from the Yankees last year. Ortiz has been fine. I think this is a game 4 and 5 home runs is reasonable, so it is a game I will play. We'll take a long shot here and more of a safe pick here. Okay, moving over to the second half of the night. We have a game a little disappointing here because, and maybe I should zoom this in just a bit. Yeah, that's better. There she goes. Because, anytime you can get a game in Cincinnati is ideal, but we're going to Kansas City, which is not a favorable park for hitters, and it's decent pitching tonight. Although Jordan Lyles giving up 18 home runs is something to look at, and I look at it. I did. This big star Ellie De La Cruz coming up. Huge buzz around him, 6-1. Now, when he declared his first game in the majors, his opening line was like 350, and by the time the first pitch went off, he was like 400. Next game, I don't remember what his line was, but he hit the home run, and he hasn't hit a home run since. So why not tonight? Why not at 6-1? I do think FanDuel's odds are pretty generous tonight, given they see kind of the scope of how tonight's going to play out in terms of conditions. So I think these are fair numbers, but again, not something I'm playing, but guys I would target if I did. Patrick Corbin versus Hunter Brown. This one's easy. This is just hammer Houston guys tonight. Altuve 390 and Bregman 450. Listen, I'm just going to say it right now. I don't mind Pena. I don't mind Julks. I don't mind Abreu. I think Houston could hit 5 on their own. So I don't think you can go wrong with any Astro that you pick tonight. They're at home. They've got a soft matchup with Corbin here, a lefty who, you know, just is kind of a journeyman, if you will. Just, pound Astro, pound that Astro hitter tonight, if you know what I'm saying, bruh. Okay, so Jose Altuve and Alex Bregman are my plays, but Pena, Julks, I don't mind either of those guys. All right, quite the opposite. Again, not a game that's even listed. Still not listed, because Jordan Beeks, I don't think, has been declared the official starter. What's this guy's name? Harris. New pitcher in the MLB. Hogan Harris. See, they're projecting Yanni Chirinos to go. So we'll see. The point being, no matter what, I'm going to target Tampa Bay because Tampa Bay's batters have been some of the best in the majors this year. And we're going to go with Randy Rosarina and Harold Ramirez when those lines do drop. And I will say this, Paredes has been hot. Siri has been hot. I'm usually a Wander Franco guy, but we'll lay off tonight. Manny Margot. Golly. Ugh. I'm going to lock these two in, but and look, let me just say it. My hesitation is I like these two hitters tonight, period. Boom, okay? But, if Margot comes out at like 850 to 850, that's interesting to me. If Siri comes out at 600, that's interesting to me, right? It kind of depends on the number for some of these guys. But for the sake of the video, for the sake of keeping it consistent, we're locking these two in. End of story. All right. Cabrera and Kirby tonight in Seattle. And I think this is... Kirby's been a little bit disappointing, I think, for Seattle. But I think maybe tonight against a mediocre batting lineup for Miami, we see him turn it on. So we'll target Cabrera as the guy to get hit tonight, and that's who will roll with Jared Kelenic and Cal Raleigh. And if we look last week at Seattle, who do we go with? Jared Kelenic and Jake Cronenworth. I've been kind of riding these two dudes for a little bit, and I can't not and then have them hit and say I've been on them for weeks and I lay off and they hit. So part of that is just because I have been on them, but I do think they're good spots regardless. Tanner Beebe and Joseph Musgrove. Maybe it's dumb to target two guys against Musgrove, but Stephen Kwan, I think, quiet, plus 900. Actually, yeah, plus 900. He's been quiet. Not a game I'm going to play, but I think that's a pretty value long shot. And Josh Naylor at 560 for a guy that likes to hit bombs. Let's ride there. That's pretty good as well. This game is bizarre because the conditions are fine, but the pitching is good. Two Zachs, double Zach attack. I'm going to target two Phillies because I just think Davies didn't really have it in Chicago. Only pitched 25 innings this year, and Wheeler has gone 3 times as many innings and has looked a lot better. So Bryce Harper is underperforming. No other way to say it. 3 home runs this year. Now, I was hurt at the beginning of the year, but I still think that's a pretty bad pace for who he is. So tonight, let's turn it around, Bryce, for crying out loud. 420 for Bryce Harper. And Brandon Marsh at 10-1. So we got a couple big long shots tonight. Again, not a game I'm on, but you throw me Brandon Marsh at 10-1 and you've got my attention. So that is how we will roll today. Last game of the night, and a game that I will definitely be playing. I will probably play 5 tonight on the limited version. Maybe it is probably safer to play 4, but I may reach a little bit at 5. We got Chicago coming to LA, and Lance Lynn has been below average for who he is. Tony Gonsolin's been solid. For that reason, we're going to target 2 Dodgers, James Outman and David Peralta. Freddie Freeman at 350s, not a bad look. Watch lineups. Jason Hayward might get the nod tonight. So we are projecting. I mean, Max Muncy's always a good play, but I didn't like his number. One of these two guys may not be in. They may put Jason Hayward in, so just be aware of that. But for now, this is who I will go with. So let me zoom this out for you guys so you can get a firm and fresh look at it all. Minimize myself here. Bring it in one more. Okay, so these are the plays tonight. Holy cow, what just happened here? So in review, if you have the unlimited version, play them all. I mean, the value's there. If you have the limited version like myself, I am going to play this game. I'm going to play this game. I'm going to play this game. I'm going to play this game. And I'm going to play this game. If I had to take one out, it's probably going to be this game. Okay, there's a chance of rain. So that's what we'll go with. We'll play those 4 or 5. As always, appreciate you guys stopping by. If you don't mind subscribing, take a little time out of your day to hit that little sub button. That helps me. Again, I'm trying to do this full time, guys. Are you kidding me? YouTube won't let me run ads until I get 1,000 of y'all. Okay, so if you can help me out, that'd be huge. Share this video, like this video, comment on this video, even if it is pathetic picks, man. Do better. All right. So as always, take care, and we will see you next Tuesday, June 20th.